Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life Stories Podcast, People Helping People. I'm Shara Goswick, your host. Today on the podcast, I chat with Doris Kaifa. Doris started a nonprofit called Celebrate Life, and that's exactly what she does. She celebrates people in her community, sometimes the homeless community, sometimes people that just need to be celebrated. And when you listen to her story, a very powerful story of how she came to America as a child, you will understand why she chooses to celebrate every day. I loved meeting Doris. I loved hearing her story, and I think you will be moved by it as well. Thanks for being here. There you
Okay.
are.
Okay.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So you have a nonprofit called Celebrate Life. That's not the full
Yeah.
name. Tell me the full name.
Celebrate like Yaun
Okay.
is Yaun. It's a native
Yes.
language. Yeah.
Okay.
So I added that there. In my native language, Pere,
Uh-huh.
it's Pere from Liberia.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. That's a morning greetings.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah. We say Yaun, but more than just a regular greetings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just a profound acknowledgement that we were all privileged, blessed to be awake today.
Oh, yeah.
So
We should
yeah.
all have that attitude.
So not everyone were blessed to, to wake up this
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
So to just be thankful for the gift of life.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so
I
that's
love
the
that.
attitude they have in the Village. When they wake up,
Yeah,
you say, "Oh yeah, well, I mean, the dead cannot come out."
that's
So
right.
be excited when somebody wake up and come out from the heart,
Yeah,
the little heart. Yeah,
right.
well, yeah,
I
yeah.
love
So
it.
yeah, so I thought that celebrate life,
Yeah.
if I can just add something, I wanted something that would distinguish because when you put celebrate life on the Google, a lot of stuff come up. Just
Yeah,
the word celebrate life.
right.
Uh, so I said, well, what can I add that I'll make it distinct? So I
Yes.
thought about that. I say my native language, the greetings, yeah, when you awake, I think it goes with celebrate life. When you wake up, we should celebrate life every day.
So why did you
Mhm.
start this nonprofit? What was your goal for this?
Well, out of my experience, it came out of my experiences.
Hmm.
Just what I went through, from beginning, I grew up in Liberia, West Africa, a smaller, country on the West Coast. Uh, Grew up in poverty in
Hmm.
a family, 19 brothers and sisters.
Wow. You have 19 brothers and sisters?
19 brothers and sisters, yeah, from
Oh my
father. Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, from father. My dad had, he had one I know about, like 5 wives.
Oh
So they're
wow.
all not just from one mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But he had 5 wives. And they got along so well. There was no
That's
I remember,
amazing.
yeah.
Do
So that's
you
how I know those 19, but
Yeah.
the others, but that's how we, he was always like, making sure that all his kids were together. I know most
Yeah.
of the time the holidays and things, yeah. So yeah, so that's how I knew those 19 brothers and sisters. Oh, good, I'm in poverty. And most of his children, he would just take them, make sure the wife was not educated, but he was educated, but
Yeah.
most of his wife was not educated. So when they have kids, because he wanted his kids to be better, I think that was his motive. So he take the kids and give them to someone else that have little upper hand to send them to school that will
Yeah.
raise them. Another family member or just somebody else in the community that needs somebody to help them with household chores. And they would say, yeah, yeah. It's not like here, you adopt them, going to
Right.
adopt kids. No, it's not like that. It just you go and help that person serve them, and in return, they send you to school. So
Mm.
that's why you get it. Just like, yeah, it's your child. Help, you go help them, help you go to school. So
Yeah.
that's just how it works. So anyway, yeah. So through that, and went through a 15 years civil war in
Mm.
in Liberia. You know of that, from uh 85 to 90. We went through the transition, and because of the toughness and the roughness of going through war, um, one that ready maybe to leave, despite everything in the war. But you get up every day, don't know where your next meal gonna come from.
Wow.
You know, it was that, imagine just living in a society where you don't know what's next, you
Yeah.
know. So going through that and going through one day, went out searching for food and basic food, just going out searching for food and basic food like just bread, you know, most of it, the cassava, grains, uh, no basic necessity that you just look for something that somebody you hope for. You just go out on hope that somebody
Okay.
will give you a piece of bread to eat that day, and you got something in your
Wow.
if if they can share with you.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it. That was the daily life. So people are very displayed because
Yeah.
everyone, children, parents, everybody just going up or different places, and you don't know you'll come back to the same place. So people
Wow.
were very, all over the place. So this day I went out searching for food, looking for food, and I met this abandoned house, just through going through running, and they started shooting. Let me back up a little bit. They was shooting. Shooting
Oh,
was
wow.
normal, but when you hear a lot of shooting, where you read it like the song of rockets, you know it's time to run, and you don't know where you're running. You're just running from away
Mm.
from the sound. So running, found myself in this abandoned house. Uh, run abandoned house there, like they start building houses and
Mm-hmm.
they don't finish like the roof. But there'll be no roof. They start with a foundation first and it's open. So they'll just leave it. And because they don't have money to finish it, so we have a lot of those around the city like that. So it might
Oh,
take
yeah.
2 or 3 years because finances, they don't have to finish it. So they take the time with that person, family. But anyway, so running through that, came to this house and full of dead bodies, or 50,
Mm-hmm.
or 50 dead bodies, I can't remember. And you just have to keep going forward. You can't go backward. So
Yeah.
I had no choice but to run through this their bodies, stepping on the bodies. Some, naked, some, the have clothes on and everything. I said that part out.
And
Yeah.
how old were you when you were doing this? Do you remember?
Uh, I was in my teens, in my
Mm.
early, yeah, my early
Wow.
teens at time. Yeah, in my early teens. Every time I say that part, I get ready because that was the touching part for me. Yes.
Yeah.
So I went anyway, made it home, but I couldn't sleep that night. Just the
Mm.
images in my head because there were babies laying on the mother. Some
Wow.
had the eyes open, some heads were big, some
Ooh.
had clothes on, and some didn't have clothes on. So I just could not sleep all night.
Mm.
So I decided I said, I'm going to leave this country because I thought I have to leave. I can stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all, and they put the airport was closed. Of course, I can fly. So the only thing I thought was go to the port, and when
Yeah.
they have the ship. I said, in a ship on there, I know you'll have to leave. I'm gonna get closer. I'm gonna get on it. I'm gonna leave. I was not even
Wow.
sure there was any. But anyway, I got on there, got it that morning early. All my uh kind of the nephews and my niece, and at this time I'm going to go. And on the bridge, they have like a mile and a half bridge, and
Mm-hmm.
the warlords, two forces. So one on the other end of the bridge and one on the other end of the bridge, and that's how they capture territory. So more land, they can take
Oh,
more of the
yeah.
city, so they can have more access to people, controlling people, and they can take whatever they want. And
Yeah.
yeah, so they were just there. So they would decide to fight, shoot at each other and push each other back, 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 back. So
Yeah.
that's all they were doing most of the time. So I decided I'm gonna go, and they were on the bridge. I decided to cross the bridge, and that's they started to shoot at each other to take territory. And I didn't stop. I was like, nothing
Wow.
gonna stop me. And I just bent my head down, not impressed, but hoping that the bullet would pass over my head.
Wow.
So I just bent my head down and ran across that bridge. And as I was running, jumping over bodies because some of them, the street bullet hit some of them. And so they
Mm.
drop on the bridge. So just for myself jumping over people. one after another, some, mother, children, girls, boys, and it was her. So ran all the way, I didn't know I had that much strength. Look,
Right. That's amazing.
so I got to the port, and there was this one vessel left to go to leave the country. It was a fishing vessel. It's not like a regular ship.
Yeah.
So they were fishing, and that was the last ship, and they were fighting on the port. Now they decided, one of the warlord, they decided they wanted to take over the port, because the port, they have all the shipping goods in there. That way they
Hmm.
can take over and have control over those things. So they decided to shoot in the port that day. And so they just told everybody was in the port, they have to leave. And the fishing vessel has to leave. And luckily I was there. I decided to get on it. So that's how I got on the fishing vessel.
Wow.
And when I got on there, some of my family was on there too. The nephews and these, but several of them was on there.
Yeah.
4 year old, 5, 7 years old. I got them
Mm.
on the ship. And met for the 50 people. And we got headed to sea. There we go. Left the port. Only to find out another disaster, because it meant for 50 people, but over 4,000 people got on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It called the Bud Challenge. The ship was called Bud Challenge.
Oh
We
my
got on,
goodness.
yeah. So over 4,000 people. I knew it was dangerous. Got on there because people were hanging on, nowhere to sit. People, on top, on the edge.
Wow.
But I didn't know how much danger we were in. But I
Yeah.
was on the top there. And we got in the middle of the ocean only to find out that the ship was sinking.
Mm.
The ship started to sink. So that's all the noise, oh, the ship is sinking. And I saw people, taking that little container, dipping the water out of the ship from the bottom, those are on the bottom, trying to keep it afloat as the water
Yeah.
come in the ship. So we stayed on there for 14 days. No food, no water, no medication, uh, just nothing. And drinking the seawater. That's how desperate came up. And got it
Wow.
started, yeah. So came to the got to a neighboring country, despite everything, and they decided they can hold the ship because they afraid were warlords on there coming from the
Yeah.
war country, and they didn't want no arms in the country. So that's why they assumed they didn't want just family trying to escape.
Yeah.
So they put us in the forest area. We stayed there, and they patched it up, and they said we have to get back, on our little merry way back to Nigeria. The vessel was headed for Nigeria. It
Oh
was a
my
Nigerian
goodness.
vessel. So it was headed, back to its location. So they said it has to head that way. They cannot put refugees down because they were not trusted of guns, on board. So we kept going. And when it the second time to find out that the ship was sinking again
Oh
after they
my
said
gosh.
this
That's crazy.
time, Sarah, it was worse. After the first one,
Oh, yeah.
because we got in there, and this time there was storm. You know how lightning and thunder in
Hmm.
the middle of the night is worse on the ocean, because the ocean is completely dark where you cannot see no trees, no
Right.
sign of life, no birds flying.
Yeah.
It's just that ship on there, and the ocean is so it's just dark, some different colors. That's all I could see. But this night is so pitch black dark, you cannot see the palm of your hand when you face it,
Yeah.
And that storm came, just rocking the boat and putting more water in it after it was sinking.
Oh my
So
gosh.
So people start tapping the water, and all I could hear were voices, mothers praying, uh,
Mm.
people hollering, God help us. Uh,
Hmm.
and all I could do at that moment was to be still. You know,
Yeah.
it was just my Sunday school Bible verse. So, Psalm 46, verse 10 came to mind was, be still and know that I'm God.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I could not do anything. I didn't know which wave would carry all of us under the ocean. Just waiting
Yeah.
because it was so strong. Just see the lightning and rocking it really back. As I stood and I sit there and bend my head down just to keep the water out of my face because of the rain,
Hmm.
because it's open, it's not a cover up. And just sat there as the water came down and praying that, okay. But I knew to myself that I was going to be okay. But the
Yeah.
reality didn't show that. And
Yeah.
I knew we were going to survive, but I didn't know until the next day the ship got closer to the Ghanaian coast, another country in Ghana. It was, and the UN got the word that all these refugees on there on the ship that was sinking, and the captain announced all that, and then they got concerned. So they told the Ghanaian government to embark the ship, and they refused to. They said the warlords. They're not going to
Yeah.
do that. So we sat on the ocean for a day or two, just sitting there for them to decide if they're going to. But then the worst thing what make them to do that was to really consider, because we had people die on the ship.
Yeah.
There was their bodies on there. Even beside where I was sitting, this gentleman got on there and he didn't get up. He didn't go to the bathroom the whole time. I know he didn't try to move. I thought he was asleep.
Oh
But
my
that's how
goodness.
naive I was. 14 days, somebody still sleeping. But he was dead, and I was sitting right beside him the whole time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because it was there. If you sit down, that's your spot because you have no other space to turn
Yeah,
or
with
lay
that
down.
many people, I can
Yes.
imagine.
So we stayed up those days. But anyway, we got there, and then the Ghanaian government finally decided that brought all the war law, the war team, thinking that anybody make an attempt to shoot, they're gonna blow everything off. Only to find out that okay, it was really just people on there
Yeah.
trying to survive. So they decided we could get down because the people were so sick and all the bodies were on there. It was not healthy to
Yeah.
go forward. So that's how we got there and stayed 3 years on a refugee camp. I lived there.
Yeah.
Our life there was hard. It was challenging. It was heartbreaking, and you didn't know where your next meal coming from. You
Yeah.
just lay day by day, aching on hope that you make it. But deep down, I knew I'll be okay. I said, this too shall pass. So my
Wow.
hope, I was hopeful, very hopeful that
Yeah.
I would make it somewhere and life would be better. Like which
Yeah.
was the US was always on my mind. Like I'll make it to the US and I'll be and all this would change around.
Yeah.
So that's how when I came and I went through that, got married, get to my story. I got married, things in the US was a place where I could strive.
Yeah.
Got married, went through an abusive relationship.
Hmm.
Uh, as I was thinking, it didn't work out that way. So
Yeah.
another challenge is again I had to face, besides learning all the new things in a new place and trying to
Yeah.
navigate. Have 4 kids, and I was left to raise my 4 kids
Yeah.
by myself, and leave a home and start all over.
Yeah.
Uh, so through those challenges, I still give God the praise, and through the experiences, I thank Him for life, and that's how I started with Celebrate Life to help those two earning my degree in social work, master
Wow.
and bachelor with all the challenges with my kids. We went to school together,
That's
so I
awesome.
thought, yeah, serving
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
serving people through the years. We serve homeless. I would administrate, a Good Samaritan ministry. They
Yeah.
serve homeless and give them shower, give them food. So I got in there and I saw I was some of those what they were facing. I faced those too, and those trials, and they could change life around too. There was hope.
Yeah.
So I thought I could uh, give them, empower them too to do something. That's how I Celebrate Life, my nonprofit. All that came down to where how I started the nonprofit.
Yes.
Yeah. So people used to come in, as a social worker, you're sitting there and people didn't know what a birthday is. And
Wow.
that was shocking to me. I like,
Yeah.
it's a birthday. And they'll sit there like they didn't hear me.
Hmm.
I like, it's your birthday. Oh, then they'll find it. Oh, honey, I can't remember when last somebody told me happy birthday. I don't remember
Wow.
that birthday. I didn't celebrate. I've been celebrating for years.
Hmm.
And 10, 15, some of them would say 30 years. I was hearing the numbers. I'm like, wow. I said,
Yeah.
why? Yep. I don't have no family. My mom, no, my mom was this, my dad was that, alcoholic, and I was, foster kid from this. And nobody ever told me happy birthday, and, just don't have no family. There were all these stories around it. So I
Yeah.
asked my boss, I'm like, okay. First, I started bringing, kisses, Hershey kisses on my desk. When I
Mm.
see it's their birthday and a card, and I would just put the Hershey kisses in there and write a card, what the name is, and give it to them. It would just light them up. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Just, wow, I get that one last time. I got this for my birthday. And they'll be so happy.
That is
And they'll go
awesome.
out. Yeah. And we usually we didn't work on the weekend. The administrator work on Saturday and Sunday. So on Monday, the word went out. They said, "Oh, Doris gave us some candy on my birthday," and I'll have the line like 5, 6, 7 people
Oh
lined
my
up at my office
goodness.
on Monday. My birthday was on Saturday. My birthday was on Sunday. You didn't ask me to get my candy. I'm
Oh,
like, what? I said, you know what? Only when I'm here is your birthday.
how
But I was just
funny.
kidding with you. I'm like, well, no, when I'm here, I don't work on the weekend. Uh, but then I thought, I'm like, why are they coming back? I thought about it. Like, there's more. It's not just the candy and the car they're coming back for. They are
Yeah.
coming back for something more. They're coming
Yeah.
back because they feel hopeful, they feel recognized, they feel like they're part of something, and they feel that somebody recognize them, somebody make them feel valuable. That's why they're coming back for. It's
Yeah.
not a little candy I give them. So I asked my boss, can I have a birthday party for, you know, people because I knew we were helping them with clothes, all tangible stuff,
Right.
food stuff. But there was something missing, which was that
Yeah.
hope that they needed and that inclusion that somebody can recognize them and know them by their name. And they
Yeah.
can feel a part because when you feel a part of something, you strive, you know, you can be. And as a community, how can we make them feel like they're part of the community? And not just how community have sometimes push people in the corner and call them those people.
Yeah.
Those people will give them food, will give them clothes, and leave them there and don't even care they are
Right.
human. How can you bring them closer and sit down and have a meal with them?
Yeah.
And maybe that will change them, and make them feel like, oh, I'm worthy of this life
Sure.
I have. Yeah. So that was the main thing I started the organization with, and I called it Celebrate Life because I feel that if we um, focus on life and you appreciate
Mhm.
something, you take care of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Considering everything that you have been through, I understand now that why it is important for you to celebrate life and celebrate these events. So
Yeah.
I have a question, and this was not in my questions, but considering everything that you had to go through, in the US, how long have you been here in the US?
25 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Came not
We are a
lying.
very spoiled nation. We are a very spoiled nation. And I think, do you get tired of hearing people complain about stupid things? Because when you think of your journey, I would just be like, I mean, I feel guilty now thinking about things I complain about. I'm like, we have it so easy over here and we are spoiled. We are spoiled. That is an
Mhm.
incredible journey. That's an incredible journey. It's amazing that you, as
Thank
young
you.
as you were, had that much hope and that much expectancy to get here. And you did. That's
Yeah.
that's incredible. Do you remember the first? I know you did the Hershey's Kisses, which I will forever look at Hershey's Kisses differently now when I see them. Do you remember the first party that you had for somebody? The first birthday
Yes.
party you do?
Yeah. I remember the very first one, and that's what inspired me really to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I had was this gentleman really sleeping under the bridge, homeless.
Oh.
He came, it was not his birthday, because I tried to, like how I want my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So no sandwich on my birthday. I don't want to eat sandwich,
That's right. That's right. Give me
So I'm
something
like,
good.
yeah, I want to eat something good. So I usually get in the kitchen and I'll cook a homemade food.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll cook from scratch. I'll season the chicken from the day before just so it
Wow.
marinate good, and yeah, and serve it. Yeah, my
Wow.
mashed potatoes will cook. Everything will be cooked.
Oh
Nothing
my
is
goodness.
nothing is in the
Yeah.
frozen stuff, because that's how I want my birthday. And I want to treat people to be special on those days and celebrate the life that they have. Because
Yeah.
that's the most important thing we all have in common is life. Whether
Right.
the rich or the poor or the social status doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
we all the homeless, we all have one thing in common, it's life. So it's important if we come together to come from that space of unconditional love and
Yeah.
just see everyone that we all are here from different months. So I do
Mhm.
it through the uh, like on a quarter, like January, February. We just did that yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just did my first quarter yesterday. So impactful. But anyway, the question you asked, this homeless man, he came to the celebration. I make the table really nice, put flowers on it, put weird tablecloths on there. And the birthday
Wow.
people, we put them in the middle. And everybody else can come and celebrate life. But the
Yeah.
birthday people that have birthdays in this quarter,
Mhm.
because why I chose birthdays, because I feel like not only bringing the homeless, but
Mhm.
everyone. Because I want the
Yeah.
whole community that to celebrate. We are the church. If we are Christians,
Right.
uh, we should, we are the church wherever we go. It's not the
That's right.
building we go to. It's, wherever we go, there we are.
Yeah.
So we can come and meet our brothers and sisters who can go to church. Let's meet them where they are because we bring the church to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I spread the table out and thought in my mind like Jesus and his disciples, when he had those disciples, they all sat at a table and they ate together and they were all from different social status. And
Mhm.
he didn't enjoy then and look how they went and changed the world. So
Wow.
how are we as Christians, we can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Spread a table, come on from wherever we are and just meet people where they are. And God has control.
Yeah.
Every month, he put us here.
Mhm.
Our parents didn't choose the month. I'm not people choosing the day.
Right.
My children born the eve and the 10. But God says, he's very smart. He still choose the month.
Yeah.
So out of the homeless person born in this is March, a rich person is born in March too.
Yeah.
It's just the social status different. So we all can put those things down and come and meet everyone born in March, no matter
Right.
what condition it is, sit at the table and have a meal with them and have a conversation with them and see what you have in common, and
Yeah.
just chat with them. No condition, nothing, not trying to preach to them, nothing, just have a conversation. Oh, you born in March? Yes, I born in March. Oh, okay. And let him ask you, like, oh, what you do? And then
Right.
maybe you can say, I'm a doctor. Okay. That person will leave and feel so worthy that he sat with a doctor and ate a meal and have
Yeah.
the same birthday. So how would that impact them when they leave?
Sure.
People will forget what you say, people will forget what you do, but people now forget how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
And that's the feeling we try to bring to this celebration. And I want people
I
living
love
with
it.
that. That's not touchable.
I
And
love
that can
it.
change their life around. Yeah.
I
So
agree.
anyway, this man came and he homeless sat at the table. He was very uncomfortable because he did not used to setting like that. People
Mm,
just had their sandwiches and they go their way back on the street. But
right.
this one, they actually sitting down, having a homemade meal, and talking to them, having a conversation with them. You could tell he was not a little uncomfortable, but we break the ice. Hey, come
Yeah.
on, it's your birthday. Celebrate. Let's go. And we play music, let them feel
I love
free to
it.
get up and dance, they
Yeah.
eat and joke around, and everybody else is joking around with them. So he left, and I haven't seen him for a couple of months, like 6 months. I went to another location to work.
Mhm.
And he came out of ministry and were looking for me. So they told me, oh, I was at another ministry and another branch working.
Yeah.
So this day, I usually help the lawyers in our area. They give free advice and
Mhm.
went to help them. He came in there ready to dress up. I had to make him up. He was dressed up, ready to groom. And he came in and said, oh, I've been looking for you. I'm like, okay. I thought he came to see the lawyer. He said, no, I came to talk to you. I want to say thank you for the birthday you have for me. He
Oh.
said, in 30 years, nobody ever told me happy birthday.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
and I want to tell you that day, that birthday you have for me, I was at the verge of killing myself.
Mm.
But because of the birthdays you had, I felt like I was worth it again. I felt like somebody knew my name. I felt like I in a life of worth, appreciating and celebrating. So I want to
Wow.
tell you to not stop doing what you're doing.
That's
Continue doing what
amazing.
you're doing. Because of that, I went and got myself my car. I got myself my job, And I got myself my car, my Jeep out here. I want you to come and see it. And he gave me keys. I want you to come and he had a nice, not a brand new one, but a
Right.
nice Jeep parking in front of it. And it's just a moment
Uh,
now. Like, it was that Saturday. I'm like, what am I doing all this? I was just starting talking to God, like, I'm not doing this again. And I should be taking the time, taking my kids. I'm doing no more birthday cooking and doing all that. And whenever he said that, like, ah, so
yeah.
this was my passion God had from the spirit, love and with others. And this is the impact.
Yeah.
It just filled my heart. It made me feel so worthy of doing it. I could help somebody else see what life is.
Yeah.
From where I came from on that boat, I was not supposed to be alive. My
Right.
boat would be sink today, I'd be gone. But I'm
Yeah.
here. He spared my life, gave me love, uh, a lot of support, and I thankful that I can give it back that way, and
That's
uplift others.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's mean that just to lift other who feel forgotten,
Yeah.
or overwhelmed with life. We provide like resources, uh, just just support and encouragement to people who feel like
Yeah.
forgotten in our community. Yeah.
Is it people in the homeless community or is it just people in the community that you celebrate?
My hope is to bring everyone in the community, but
Hmm.
being targeting those who like homeless.
Yeah.
And some of our seniors buildings, some of the seniors in our community that live in independence home or the
Yeah.
families gone, and some of them, have
Sure.
contributed to our community, but because they have no more families, nobody care. They're just there.
Yeah.
So I try to engage them to they come out and they look forward to that because
Yeah.
yeah. So it was a lot of fun yesterday. Yeah.
That's awesome. I bet it was.
Yeah.
So, what has surprised you the most as you have? Is it that first time when you celebrated him and he was just shocked and you feel like, I mean, you kind of saved his life? Is it that what surprises you the most, or is there anything that surprises you when you get to celebrate these people?
Just their stories.
Yeah.
But yes, stories that always give them the space because most of the homeless they don't have that space, that free space or safe space, I would say,
Mhm.
to talk where
Yeah.
nobody judging them, because on the street, I guess they say it's different there, but a space where they can really be given a platform that they can come and tell God, thank you for the life. So I
Yeah.
like to hear that part of it. So during our celebration, I always leave that um, and give them the microphone to say what they're really grateful for. God want to, because the purpose is put God back into the community. I don't want them
Right.
to feel that God is not there.
Yeah.
He is always there and he's
Mhm.
always, sharing his love. He's always
Yeah.
present. So I want to make sure that they get in that. That's the purpose behind it, not just their birthdays, but the purpose behind it, filling them with that love, that they
Yeah.
can feel that self-love. Because when you feel that, you can help yourself. Like
Sure.
this one gentleman, they didn't
Yeah.
have to tell him to go find a job. He went and find himself a job, find himself, and he came back and told me. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yesterday was really great too. Have people, what you blessed for. We played a little game. It's called uh, gratitude. We'll
Hmm.
pass the board around, and we play the music. You know that musical chair where they
Uh-huh.
do it like music. Okay, so I didn't do it around with a board instead
Yeah.
of here. So we pass the board around, and whoever the music stop at, and you have the board, you have to say what you're grateful for.
Mm, I like
So
it.
we heard a lot of God thing, and that
Yeah.
made me, that's a church right there.
Yeah.
You're not telling them, they already know it's in there. They just need to
Yeah.
bring it out and believe it. That
Yes.
yeah. So we did that, and that was really, it surprised me to see how much they can say that they still remember there's a God there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to start something like this in their community, what is some advice you could give them? Maybe they couldn't do something as big as what you're doing, but what could you give somebody? What advice could you give somebody that wants to do something like you're doing, positive and encouraging for the people in their community?
I said that just step out. You don't have to wait for perfect time.
Right.
Yes, just if we have the plan, and I think we all need it in our community more than ever
Mhm.
before, especially at a time like this. I find
Sure.
that uh, we all need to share love and hope and kindness and laughter. Uh, and we just need to just be open
Yeah.
now. And God is fun. He loves
Yes.
laughter.
Yes.
And look at things, as I said, change the way you look at things, and the things you
Yeah.
look at will change.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So if we can just look at it in a different way,
Yeah.
or the former way of having church, maybe find a different way how you
Yeah.
as a church, because we are, like I said, we are the church. Wherever we
Right.
go, we are the church. So just find a way how you can make it smaller, start with a smaller group, and these
Yeah.
people hand it out. But be more how can you engage to them and hear their story.
Yeah.
Maybe they just need somebody to listen. Somebody just needs somebody to listen to them. And maybe
Sure.
just they just need to just a space where they can feel like, somebody make them feel like they're part of it,
Yeah.
of a community. So something like that, I think it working. Because my son is at mental health, all that help with that, because people feel like they can think positively, they can
Right.
you know what God is, and they can just start by just gathering people and say
Yeah.
birthdays. Let's celebrate birthdays together in maybe a church, who are in the church,
Yeah.
and invite people on the street and come on and include them and sit at the
Yeah.
table and have a meal together and see how that would make a difference. You can start
Yeah.
small like that. Yeah. And that's how we started. And now we're growing to over 100 people comes
Wow.
to our
That's
celebration.
wonderful. Do
Yeah.
you have any plans to do anything different or new anytime soon, or you're just going to keep doing what you're doing?
I want to expand it little bit more, on it. I want to keep doing that. Of course, I love the birthday part because it kind of a
Right.
center around life. I want people to, the most important thing we have on earth is life. So,
Mm-hmm.
we got to cherish it, and appreciating the time and space that we can share with others, that
Yeah.
in a space that we all here in a 3D world, uh, and we all, it's just the experience we want to have. What kind of experience do you want to have in the world
Right.
that you are in now? So you
Yeah.
got to create those experiences. So the experiences, and I always tell people when we go back, wherever we came from,
Yeah.
you point one finger, there's always three coming back to you,
Right.
and God, and God, my eyes are like, what did you do? What
Yeah.
did you do when I sent you on earth? What did you do? Not
Mm.
what your husband did, not what your pastor did.
Right.
What did you do? So
Yeah.
we have to keep that focus, and always know that we are here for it, for an
Yeah.
experience, and try to create those experiences that you want to have. If somebody, take you off or something, that's their experience. You don't
Yeah.
have to flow with those energies. That's not what you're trying to experience. You can choose what experience you want to have,
Right.
and you can make decision on those. So I want to be able to do more for the population with serving, to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maybe giving them like a opportunity of maybe mentorship,
Yeah.
that those are serious, they can get a war, get a lot of points and get a war, or those are like on probation. Maybe they
Yeah.
just need somebody to be a sponsor for them. That was
Yeah.
just somebody they can talk to all the time positively in the
Mm-hmm.
community, like in a church member, the pastor they can connect with and say, we all need that.
Yeah.
And they don't have that because we tend, that's why I find it in my community. They push them aside. They can only get this, they can get a food bag, they can feed them, they can give them clothes. Well, who are we just preach to them who don't know what they're going through? Is it good? Is that's what they really need at that time? But
Yeah.
God, you gotta see God in a different ways, how we serve and help our fellow men, to help them, pick up from the ground up
Yeah.
and get our hands up. I would say hands up,
Yeah.
not a hands down. So yeah, so I would love to see that growing a little bit more, just doing more. Maybe somebody just need, maybe down the line, my long future plan, and maybe got bus transportation. Maybe
Oh,
somebody wants
wow.
to just go to work. Maybe they
Yeah.
just need a first few times and they can
Sure.
afford, they don't can't afford to buy a car. How they can go to,
Yeah.
how they gonna go to work? Maybe
Mhm.
somebody just, can pick them up. Maybe a mentor or some. Yeah, so I have different things that we can help
That's
federal
great.
people in the community. God see, I always say like homelessness is not permanent. It's just a
Right.
condition. The
Yeah.
condition can change.
That's right.
So if we all can just do that little step, maybe that
Yeah.
one person just like, oh, they didn't have no family, they got, or they just felt one mistake, put them in a hole, but they
Right.
want to get up. And how can we stretch our hand as Christian
Yeah.
and just help them? Maybe they, like I said, transportation, just to go to work maybe for a month or two and get a check, and they can
Yeah.
get themselves a transportation.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
how can
that's,
people support what you're doing?
yeah, we have a website. Have a
Mhm.
really, I'm glad we got a really good website. We got
Yeah.
donation there. So
Okay.
I love that. Because through, through the funds, you can do a lot more with it if you have
Sure.
it. Yeah.
Sure.
So I love that monetary donation and the one that's
Hmm.
the, I love to explain it to even different cities,
Yeah.
to see how we can, yeah, we
Yeah.
can spread it around because that's spreading God's love. And our Bible verse is John 15:12. This is my commandment, love one another as I have loved you.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, so I always see that as a military when they give command. I haven't been in the military, but it said the commander give command, they don't ask question, they just do
Right.
it.
Right. Not a
So if Jesus,
suggestion.
yeah,
That's a command.
yeah, just do it. So in our Bible voice, Jesus said, this is my command. If we as
Yeah.
Christian, we said Jesus is our commander, then we have no question to ask, why do you homeless? Why you,
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask a question, you can ask it to why your condition so you can be able to help them. But
Yeah.
who are we to judge them? I think that's a better word. Judge them.
Right.
We just be follow the command. It said, "This is my command: love one another as I have loved you." If you
Right.
love something, if you love somebody, you do all the unconditional thing to help them
Yeah.
get to what they want to be, the best
Yeah.
person they can be, or the best version of themselves. Just meant for us is a
Right.
testimony to share with others and empower others so that
That's
they can
right.
do better,
That is
no
right.
matter what. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always, no matter how dark it is, they're gonna break. And there's
Yeah.
always a way forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing it with me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you having
Alrighty.
me and thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. I
Alrighty.
sure
Bye
appreciate it.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.